Hey guys, something so awesome is happening to me. I can't say too much just yet, but I'm really excited to go on this journey with you all. Stay tuned.
If something horrible comes out and Trump comes out and agrees he did it, I will then weigh it. But I'm never a lesser of two evils person, but with Hillary, there's not even the same universe. I mean, she is an abject, psychopathic demon from hell that as soon as she gets into power is going to try to destroy the planet. I'm sure of that, and people around her say she's so dark now and so evil and so possessed that they are having nightmares, they're freaking out. Folks, let me just tell you something. If the media wants to go with this, that's fine. There are dozens of videos and photos of Obama having flies land on him indoors at all times of year, and he'll be next to 100 people and no one has flies on him. Hillary, reportedly, I mean, I was told people around her that they think she's demon-possessed, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it, okay? They said they're scared. That's why when I see her, when kids are by her, I actually get scared myself for the child. I mean, that big rubber face and that... I mean, this woman is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. She is a demon. This is biblical. She's going to launch a nuclear war. The Russians are scared of her. By the way, when people are scared of you and they got nuclear weapons, you have a big war. When you're scared, you fight. When you're a man.
We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him. Did you
ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus.
Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. The more these Epstein file revelations come out, and the more, I guess you would call the top tier issue comes out. You see, human trafficking and child trafficking is a major issue, but it's not the top tier issue that we're dealing with. And I know you may be saying, damn, James, what you talking about? Ain't nothing more important than the children's. Ain't nothing more important than the children. Y'all know I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I believe all that, right? I fully believe that. But we got a problem here. And the major problem is influence trafficking. It is the influence trafficking that has led us to the situation where we are in. You combine the influence trafficking with the fact that these people are full-on demons. And then you wonder why they can get up there and say, and you could say, well, could you define what a woman is? And they're like, what do you mean what a woman is? No XX, no XY chromosome, none of that knowledge. Because it's a different satanic belief system. They've trafficked influence to Satanists and Luciferians. And you people are like, well, it's a communist Marxist takeover. That is a form of Satanism. How do we know it's communist Marxism is a form of Satanism? It's because the first thing they do is they start to kill Christians. It's why you saw Don Lemon and his communist Marxist crew march up inside of a church. That's what they do. They try and kill people like me and you. But I want to share something else with you. Hold on. You see, we got a problem on our hands. as the American people. This is one of the many problems. Men who decide they're going to transition and become women. I already explained to you the they them pronoun thing and how God gave man dominion and he made man in his own image, male and female. He made them, right? And so dominion is based upon your gender, which is male and female. And then when you decide to be a them or somewhere in between, if that's what that is, a them, you are a full on demonic, demonized vessel. You have no dominion. Satan can do whatever he want to do with your mind and your body and your spirit. I think I've explained that. But the thing that we really need to be talking about above all the rest of this, hold on, my damn shoe came untied. There we go. The thing we really need to be discussing is the simple fact that the fairy tale that we're living in today is being broken. You see, there's these generational, like my generation and a generation before me didn't grow up in a life of fairy tales. You know, generation before me, they grew up where it's like, oh hell, you know, there could be a nuclear bomb go off at any point in time. They hiding under desks, scared out of their minds. And my generation grew up as a generation where there was no fairy tales because you came home and confronted things by yourself. There was no helicopter parents. So you got out of school, you caught the bus home, you put the key in the door. When you heard a noise, you didn't ignore it because you was at home by yourself. You went to go see, you got the bat, you went to go see by yourself what's going on. If there was somebody who was watching you, there was a chance that they may get you. There was no cell phones, there was no protection, but you had to nut up. You know what I'm saying? And see, we're in this fairy tale world now where there's this illusion of protection. It kind of makes me think about Anita Baker's song, um, Fairy Tales. How does it go? I remember the stories, the things my mama said. She told me fairy tales before she went to bed. She spoke of a happy ending and tucked me in real tight. She turned my nightlight on and kissed my face goodnight. My mind was filled with visions, a perfect paradise. And it's this story of she's singing a story of her mother telling her a fairy tale, like how this prince is coming to defeat the dragon, and this prince is coming to fight the evil prince. And then a song transports to her being an adult when she understands there's no fairy tales and that the man that she chose to be her prince left her alone in the cold. He didn't fight the dragon. He didn't fight the evil prince. You see, we knew wasn't nobody gonna fight for you. We knew this. And so we fought for ourselves. You literally had to fight to get home. You literally had to fight when you went outside. And then we got into this imaginary world where there's no fighting anybody. In that imaginary world where there's no fight is the issue that we're facing right now. Because in order to defeat this evil that we're facing, people are going to have to stand up and fight it. And that's just what it boils down to. People are going to have to stand up and fight this evil. And without standing up and fighting it, bro, we screwed.
So what I can say right now that we have identified the person, the suspect, by a birth name. The birth name was Robert Dorgan. We have also learned that the person does go by the name of Roberta, also uses a last name of Esposito. But again, that will be all confirmed throughout the course of the investigation as to their status that really doesn't have anything to do with the investigation. 1969 he was born.
So the shooter was a trans shooter, a cross-dressing shooter. And this is the craziest thing. Even this aspect of life is completely different. So, and what I mean by that is there's always been men who cross-dress. There's just always been men who cross-dress. They just haven't always been so damn violent on a major scale. The violence was primarily confined to their community. Because when I was younger, it was like, yo, dude, you're a weirdo. And your weirdness wasn't openly accepted. There was no expectation of acceptance for your weirdness. You know what I'm saying? Those dudes who do their cross dressing, go to their cross dressing club, dance, do whatever they were going to do, went on about their business. They didn't have the expectation that people would readily accept that behavior pattern in society. Like, oh, yeah, you got to accept me. It just, the expectation wasn't there. The difference is there's an expectation that's been laid that you should be accepted, that you should be able to push this down people's throat. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. Everybody mad at Donald because of what he did and what he didn't do. The truth of the matter is, long before Donald Trump was president, people were allowing this stuff to happen, whether it be the sexual child predators, um, whether it be the drag queens going in front of kids. People were allowing it to happen. And everybody's mad at the president because they feel like he didn't do enough. No, it's not going to change until the people start doing what they need to do. And I feel like we're getting to that point where the people of America are getting ready to start saying, yo, you know what? Y'all want a civil war? How about we civil war y'all behind? All you wicked, evil people. It's, man, it's one of those places where somebody's got to kill the evil prince. Somebody's got to slay the dragon. And that's what has to happen. Somebody has to kill the evil prince and slay the dragon from the fairy tale. It just got to happen. And I don't mean that as in walk up the street and shoot nobody. I mean the concept, the idea. You know, in the fairy tale, the dragon is representative of something. In the fairy tale, the prince is representative of something. Those things, those ideas, those concepts that that the Lord just said, son, how do you kill an idea and how do you kill a concept? But those ideas and those concepts of child transition and transgenderism, those ideals and those concepts of what I would call the evil prince, being that, you know, the white folks are so evil that the borders of America should be opened and everybody should come in. Because you do realize that's what they've done. The white people's made them the evil prince, that the borders should be in. Let me be more specific. White Christians have been made to be the evil prince, that they're so wicked and evil and dead slavery that we should open our borders and let everybody in to rape and pillage the rest of the Christians in the nation. How do you defeat that idea? How do you destroy that idea? How do you destroy the dragon? These ideas of the dragon, these ideas of the evil prince, these ideas of the swamp monster. How do you destroy them? It's by injecting Christ into the culture. The reason why those ideas and concepts manifested the way they did is because he was taken out of culture. He was taken out of schools. And so since he's been taken out of schools, schools are unrestrained. When he was taken, the faith of Jesus Christ was taken out of schools and religion was taken out of schools, they brought in another religion. And you see that religion in schools now. You see the LGBTQ, which is a religion. And if you don't believe me, it's how you know it's a religion, because you can go to churches and now they have their churches. LGBTQ, whatever church. Well, they're raising up a nation of people within a nation with its own form of religion. And see, that's where we're wrong, because we allowed them, you, me, we allowed them to get a foothold. But you know what? They're going to have to rub their crotch in our face in order for everybody to wake up. And we're in that crotch rubbing phase where In order for everybody to wake up and see this, to stop playing around on their Facebook, to stop being too busy, to stop ignoring it, to stop tuning out, they're going to have to literally rub their crotch in our face like a male stripper. Just rubbing their balls on your chin like, "Ugh," in order for everybody to wake up. So everybody can do the right thing. Just, ooh, ooh. And that's what we're going through right now. The crotch rubbing. If you don't believe that it's a giant crotch rubbing phase that we're in, Tom Homan is going to explain to you that while liberal white women, crotch rubbers, were in the streets going, ice out, ice out, ice out, losing their damn minds, they found 3,000 missing children in one city. 3,000 missing children. 3,000 quote unquote unaccompanied minors. But we're in the crotch rubbing phase. So when ICE arrests a father and detains a father and his son, who both illegal aliens, then they say ICE is arresting children. But you and your damn child are here illegally. And then we really don't know if that's that man's child. But nonetheless, they say ICE are detaining people illegally and detaining children. And people are like, ICE is detaining children. Okay, they just detained 3,000 unaccompanied children. They're detaining children, but they're unaccompanied. 3,000 kidnapped kids were detained by ICE. You will hear nothing about it. Why? Because our media is full of shit. Pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? The fairy tale has got to come to an end. The dragon has got to be slain. The snake has to have his head chopped off. The evil prince has to be tossed down the well. The castle has to be burned. Everything must be destroyed. Everything must go. So I guess this is what we have to go through. We have to sit through this. We have to sit through the Epstein file revelations, where today or yesterday, someone figured out how to go in and find the unredacted videos and photos. You don't think that was done on purpose? You don't think with AI, you don't think with all the tools and equipment that somebody could use, the government has access to, that they didn't leave that back door open on purpose for people to get to it? And it ain't been sealed after it went viral on the internet, that you can go in and basically look at the kid porn on the government servers? And then people are like, I'm gonna go look at the files. Are you retarded? Are you retarded? So you gonna go surf kid porn on a DOJ's website? Are you retarded? It's okay though. I told you we got to go through this phase. And to answer the question that the Holy Spirit was saying, how do you defeat an idea? How do you defeat that dragon, that prince, that snake, that eagle, that griffin, that monster? Is by injecting Christ back into culture. And the May 17th will be the time period where he's injected back into culture in America. And a lot of things you're going to see between now and May 17th, they ain't about what you think they are. They're about that one move. Like the recent plot that was revealed where everybody's like, Satan is trying to kill, the devil wants to kill the president. Pray for the president. The devil wants to kill the president. You want to know why all the prophets got a word that Satan and the kingdom of darkness is going to assassinate the president? Is because when everybody comes into agreement with the full dedication of the territory, especially Washington, D.C., to the Lord, it removes all kind of legal rights from the kingdom of darkness. That's why they're going to try and whack him. That's why they're going to try and whack everybody. That's why you're going to see some kind of mass casualty event. Something has to come before May 17th, because that rededication in the spirit realm completely. Remember, I showed you where he renewed the covenant in executive order in writing. That was in private. That was something that was done in private. Only those of us who I would call are active priests know to go look for that kind of stuff. Now, this is public. And so much of what you're seeing right now is about that. I wouldn't be surprised if they march a bunch of kids out of school that day to do an ice out protest towards Washington, D.C. on a day where the dedication is coming. I wouldn't be surprised they march a whole bunch of kids out of school into the streets towards that and have them protesting, acting crazy. It's why, like, in my opinion, the biker gangs that are Christian, or the ex-bikers that became Christians, all of them need to go. Because you need somebody that's going to put hands on, that's going to lay hands. You need people that's willing to give a little touch. People that's willing to lay palms on. But here's Tom Homan talking about the missing children.
ICE is a legitimate federal law enforcement agency. We're not out scouring the streets to disappear people or deny people their civil rights or due process. In addition to taking public safety threats off the street, ICE, here in this state, have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children that the last administration lost and weren't even looking for. That's because the leadership of President Trump, these children were located. ICE is a legitimate federal law enforcement agency. We're not out scouring the streets to
3,000 kids found. Well, 3,000 kids detained by ICE. You know, it's amazing because the psychology of human beings is all the same. You see, 3,000, nobody give a damn about 3,000 kids being detained. But that one kid, oh, everybody care about the one kid, but nobody give a damn about the 3,000 kids that were found. They had to be in the company of people who were not their parents. So while we're simultaneously talking about Epstein files and this, the Tom Homan and them are actively preventing 3,000 children from going to whatever new island there is, whatever existing ranch that nobody's touched upon. And it's not really major news. It's crazy that it's not major news. But what has to happen, ladies and gentlemen? It's happening now. You see, the cultural revolution against the pedophile network is happening right now. Their actions are no longer hidden. And see, the wickedness counts on the fact that good people, righteous people, are appalled by their behavior and their actions. Is what I've been struggling with the past couple of days. Like I could record 3-4 videos a day, but what I've been struggling with is the fact that I got to look at this and listen to this, because inside of me, it makes me want to behead the dude. I'm serious. It makes me want to go over there and get my battle axe, the one that you attached to your hip that I was using to splint some wood with yesterday, and behead the dude. I'm sorry. It just makes me want to behead him and be done with it.
Defend you because I'm a fan, although I plainly am, although you've also made some turkeys, that's true. But you could be the worst filmmaker. I defend you because I don't like witch hunts. They're bad for society, they're bad for people, they're wrong, they're immoral. That's why I do it, not because I'm a fan.
I'm sure, you know, your persona is much more socially...
You said you will not let me get it. You have to wait beyond that now. What you've done to Suni, what you've done to Dylan, what you've done to Dylan. Dylan's a baby. How could you do that to her? I don't know anything of the kind. I know what Dylan tells me. You've told me nothing but lies. Dylan tells the truth inconsistently. No, I don't know that, Woody. I've always been worried about you and Dylan. And I didn't know the doctor had to report this to the authorities. I didn't know that. I went just to be sure she was all right. And she's not all right, Woody. She walks around the house holding her vagina. She sleeps with me. She's scared of you. And you hurt her. And I feel pretty guilty myself that I wasn't there to protect her. You said, Mama, you didn't help me. She said, Daddy shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have hurt me like that. If you hurt her, you would weep inside. And you would just want to be dead. Because I don't know how you can live with what you did.
There's a reason why the Bible says suffer a witch not to live. There's a reason why God said drag him out into the streets and stone him. With DW, what does that have to do with witchcraft? It's all witchcraft. It's sex magic. It's what do you think happens when people go to rituals? What do you think happens to a nation when Bad Bunny does a ritual on national TV, speaking in a foreign language and talking about vaginas and sex and everything else? This is what I've been struggling with to record because the anger wells up in me. But then I need to be careful about what I say because I have a responsibility towards my king as how I represent him. So this is why I've been a little bit slow in producing content, because we reached a territory where this is not a territory of words, quite frankly. We've reached the point where people wanted the truth. Now you have the truth. We reached the point to where men who understand what should be done, your spirit, I'm sitting here, but my spirit is standing up. And it's walking off like, nah, we need to go get Woody Allen. This is crazy. And I'm like, Spirit, come back over here and sit down. We can't go do that. We're not in the days of our forefather David. We're not in those days right now. If we was in those days, I don't think we would have these problems because there would be men who would just deal with this. But since we're not in those days, the only thing we can do is say this. And I will say this. The president of the United States of America got to go push through this. And guys, I need you to understand from his perspective, what he's probably seen at this point in time, as of now, probably has turned his stomach. Because I don't believe that the man hasn't seen any of the information. I believe they tried to curate the information that they gave to him. But I think he's had to see enough to where he's like, this is terrible. Because he had to make a decision like, this is terrible for our nation. This is this. Hollywood is getting ready to be replaced by AI anyway. They no longer matter, Mr. President. They no longer exist. Sorry. You're going to have to bust a move. When the Lord tell you to bust a move, don't just run out and just do crazy stuff. Because clearly, he know what he's doing. That's enough of this for right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back with the second video. Before I go, Max says you guys hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Check the notifications too.